$30 a pound.
Okay. Fennel? You want fennel? Are you sure? I don't think you really do, sweetie.
Here, do you want to try a little bit
Before you commit to that?
and talk to it? Give it some love.
Yeah.
It'll grow big and strong.
We started this in 2021, spring, and the fruit and vegetable class. This is a student-ran organization that we are constantly building on. We just got into the San Marcos farmers market this summer. That was a very big deal. So now, instead of giving our produce away or just composting it, we get to sell it.
June of 2023, we started selling our produce at the San Marcos Farmers Market on the weekends. We do comparison. We talk to other farmers that are at the market. We'll talk to, other vendors there, see how much they're selling their produce for.
We treat it like a business, because in the end it is a business. We are getting money from a donor that we need to utilize in the right way, and that's the biggest thing, is being able to learn all aspects from the business, from how to germination of seeds, fertilization, to at the very end of being able to sell your product and know what the price points are, that you are not only breaking even but making profit.
We never want to try to undercut any farmers either. We're just trying to understand the market in a research and learning way through the university. And we also look at grocery stores. What are grocery stores selling their produce for? What is, restaurants buying the produce for? So we talk to the community on how we price our product.
It was Dr. Wagner who started this student-ran farm. It all started with the hugelkultur beds, as you can see behind me. All these 6 are hugelkultur beds, which is basically a lasagna bed kind of setup where you use all the natural elements that everyone would have in or around their house.
This is what we had, and you can see it's compacted, driven on, compacted, just raw, bare land. And so we then started building these hugelkultur beds with just materials that were local. We had logs that we were using that were just from the slash piles around Freeman as the raised, to hold the beds in place. So we were just scavenging what we could to build soil. And because we're starting with such, degraded soil that's shown here, we did have to bring in some topsoil and compost.
I have been at Texas State since 2014. I teach horticulture and soil science classes, as well as agroecology, which is just the system of all of the things in our environment and how they relate to one another. And I also advise and manage, I should say, the Bobcat Farm. So I founded Bobcat Farm to provide a place for students to learn more about food production, and also serve as a laboratory for a number of our classes, and to conduct research on regenerative agricultural systems.
I worked in Washington, D.C. for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, specifically the Foreign Agricultural Service of USDA, for about 4 years upon graduation from my PhD. My first role there was forecasting the major commodities of South America, so corn, soybeans, wheat, rice, for primarily Argentina and Brazil, which are the major producers, but all of South America.
And that was a different environment for sure. I learned a lot, but I was really interested in getting back to my hands in the soil and growing plants, and that led me to getting back into academia. It was very informative on the large global scale as well as national, but it made me realize that I love working with actually growing the plants myself, working with the soil, and interacting with students who love to do that as well.
So I went back to, first of all, Montana, and I worked at Montana State for a little while, and then I was a farmer. And then eventually I made my way to Texas. a gentleman, Andrew McGowan, called me out of the blue and wanted to donate or wanted to learn more about my work with the possibility of donating to my work here at Texas State. He was particularly interested in sustainable food systems, developing a program or a farm that could help educate students on growing food, but then also just being more aware of where their food came from. That is what set the stage for me founding Bobcat Farm.
Last time he visited was in August, and we just finished the hoop house, and he wanted to come see that project finished, and he was really happy with, the hydroponic setup and the hoop house getting built or finished, and he was really pleased to see the progress we've made in the last year since 2021, since the farm was established. So I'm glad that we were able to, show him what we've been doing.
I'm actually in contact with him on a weekly basis. He has kind of become a friend. I mean, he's just a wonderful person. As a professor, I'm very busy with teaching, with mentoring students through classes, through projects, as well as the research and the publishing that I'm expected to do. So taking on the building of a farm just from scratch was a huge undertaking. I mean, that's a full-time job in itself. So him giving some funding to make that happen was the big difference. I was able to hire somebody to help as a farm manager, and then also all of the supplies that we needed. And then there's this incredible group of students that were so excited about it. And I had a feeling that if we built it, they would come. And they've come, and they are the most amazing community of students. And I wouldn't be able to do this without them at all. It was a real leap of faith, sticking my neck out to even do this. It's been challenging. They know it's been challenging. It's been a lot of hard physical work, and also just stretching them and me into new directions of solving problems, because we are literally creating a whole business and a farm bootstrapped ourselves pretty much. And that's just above and beyond all the things that we do as students and professors, etc.
If it weren't for Dr. Wagner, I don't know if I would be doing this right now. She's taught me most of what I know about organic farming and sustainable food systems. She's just a big inspiration for me.
I took Dr. Wagner's soils class, and it's just everything I had been seeing in the books is just like portrayed through this professor.
It's just almost overwhelming how much knowledge that she has. She is a master gardener in my mind.
She has her own farm called Buda Botanicals, and she grows fresh cut flowers and edible flowers, and they are beautiful. I can't thank her enough. We need to do something for that woman, because she does so much. She runs 2 farms, her farm, Bobcat Farm, and then she teaches. Then she's also trying to get tenure this year. So I hope she gets it. She deserves it. I feel like she deserves 1,000 to 10 million hugs.
I'm totally a different person than I was a year ago. I just feel a lot more connected to the environment around me. I feel like I understand these systems better and have a deeper appreciation for people who have been in organic farming for a long time and facing these challenges that we're dealing with in Texas, like droughts and pest pressures.
This whole movement, like if you want to call it that, regenerative farming, it's not like Joel Salatin says. It's not like we're going back. It's going backwards with a new mindset of like, hey, we have microscopes that are showing what's going on in the soil, and when you till it, it does this, and when you have a monocrop field, it has this effect on the ecosystem and on human health too. Like healthy soil, healthy plant, healthy animal, healthy human.
I would love to have my own farm someday. I don't know where it will be, because we're considering of leaving Texas just for environmental reasons, but we really want to have our own little homestead, grow our own produce, have our own chickens and goats, and that's my dream one day. That's why I'm in agriculture, because I've been working on farms since about 2015, and I just feel like I'm ready to step up and take that leadership role into my personal life of being more sustainable and living off of Mother Earth.
I grew up in Austin. I grew up in the city where agriculture is not really as big of a thing, so I didn't know as much going into it. The only reason that I really found out about agriculture was because I got into keeping houseplants, and the more I got into that, the more that I started to learn about farming and producing your own food, and that's something that I've always kind of been interested in but didn't really seem feasible living in the city. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards maybe research or finding a job in the industry first before I'm able to secure my own land. The market is insane, so I don't even know if I'll be staying in Texas for much longer. Land ownership is becoming more and more controversial. People are kind of being forced to give up the land that they've even inherited because the property taxes are so insane. I'm actually first generation American. Both of my parents were born and raised in Germany and moved here before I was born. So I've been to Germany a few times. We used to go every year. So I've seen a little bit of the kind of village lifestyle there. And my mom comes from more of a livestock background. She used to have chickens and pigs.
I know some farmers that they do fresh cut flowers and they make, $65,000 a year. And that's an average salary for somebody who works 9 to 5 at an office position, Monday through Friday. So it is possible for farmers to definitely make a living off of growing plants and vegetables and herbs and flowers or whatever they like to do.
As long as you work hard enough and you actually put in the time and the money into the plants, it will pay off tremendously. You can live off the grid, is what I would like to call it, and off of rainwater catch distributions and the different things, the practices that I've learned around this area.
It's a very happy place, and I've seen it for some students that just love to be there, and they go, like one of my students who works there now, he goes like every day. He doesn't have to, but he just goes there every day because it's just his happy place, and a number of them feel that way. And I can just sense like the really love they have for one another and the project, even though we have our challenges, no doubt. That it's very therapeutic. There's a whole field in horticultural therapy that is grounded in science and research that supports that, and I see it anecdotally. We haven't done the research on that aspect of the farm yet. We hope to. You can sense it.